Hey guys, how are you today? I guess you know what day it is. It's update for the month of May. So we're gonna just run through like we always do. I'll give you the updates that are in my collection. So the Awanadara Awanadara Redland Sunset has this growth right here, and then on this side it has this growth right here. It's done really well. I repotted it, and it really took repotting very well. Didn't have any drawbacks at all, so that was very nice. My Vanda, just being any sort of Vanda, just keeps on growing right now. I hopefully it will bloom this summer to fall. Here's the mystery orchid. When I repotted this, I have basically no roots, and it has grown all sorts of roots. They're like light brown looking roots, but it seems to like the potting style I chose. I put some bark, charcoal, and perlite in with it, along with some sphagnum mixed up in the mix, and it seems to really like it, and it's doing really well. Right there is my, what is this? The Odontocidium Tiger Crow Golden Girl. She just is still in bloom, and her other spike that I found has two buds on it over here, if you can see that. Next is the Oncidium Twinkle, and it has 4 new growths coming on it, so that's really good. And then if we go right behind it is my Subcopsis, and if we go all the way up, you see the first spike, and then even farther up we have another spike, and they are going to bloom very close timing to one another. So I'm really happy about that, because I'll be able to see 2 big blooms in one display, so that'll be very nice. Next is my Prostechia cochleata, and it is doing great. Along with those 2 spikes, it finally popped out this one from this sheet back here, so that's really good. Right behind that is the CM Fitch Plumai, the Miltassia. Has a pretty new growth right there, nice and green. So we'll see how that does. If we go down to the next shelf, we'll start over here, the Bulbophyllum that I have. And this is the Elizabeth Ann. I think it's a longiform type, but that's what it is. It has this one over here too, but they're starting to send out new roots and all that, so that's great. I'm really happy with that. Back there is the SLC Jababon, and it has been a pretty hard orchid to start off. This is just a small cutting actually, because these growths should be like 3 times the size of what they are. So it has this new growth right there, and then also over there behind that leaf. So hopefully it's starting to pick up. Hanging right there is the Tampenthus albiform, and it just keeps on shooting off new growth. I think that will do better once it's in my greenhouse. Right here, this I saw in person. The person who this plant belongs to, some of the other ones bloomed, and they are just massive blooms, and I'm really happy with it. I can't wait until it blooms. But if you want to see the tag, it is the Cattleya Mausiae by L.C. Arthur Miles, and I really like this, and I can't wait for it to bloom so you all can see it, because it is such a gorgeous display. And the growths are doing really well. Back behind that is the RLC Village Chief North. It has a new growth coming on it. It's very small right now, so it's really hard to show it. It's underneath that root that's sticking up right there. It's underneath that. Then right here, my Brassica Rex. I'm really happy with its new growth. They're as big as the old growth, and it's starting to mature the pseudobulbs. So that's great. I'm really happy with that. I still have the sphagnum on here because I guess it didn't have too many roots, and that's what caused it to do the accordion shape because it didn't get enough water. Let me pause this and move it real quick. I'll be right back. And here is the LC Lake Tahoe Blue Lake, and by LC Cornelia var Cerulean. Its new growth right there is doing really well. So I'm happy with that. Move this over a little bit. And we're going to, this is the first time I've looked in here too, but I think there might be a sheath in here. This is, you've never seen this in bloom, but I've had this for probably about 3 years now. And when I first got it, I didn't really know too much about Cattleyas, and I wasn't really treating it very well, so it kind of suffered a bit. But I'll tell you what, this growth is bigger than when I got its growth, which is this one right here. So I'm really happy with that. But I do believe there might be a sheath down in there. It looks like it. So actually, I'm positive there is a sheath down in there. So that's great. And we'll get some blooms out of this. And these blooms smell so good. They smell amazing. The Telomnia that I have, the pink one, is still in bloom. I was at the show, and I do believe that it must have been, I made my mom take them back home because I wasn't going home that night. And I think she had the heater on, and it was hitting these 3 flowers right here and caused them to die faster. But that's okay because it was only 3 of them. This Oncidium, let me get the right name for you, the Volcano Midnight Volcano Queen. She's just, I don't know, she's got a new growth here. I still am not too sure, 100% sure on her. I feel like part of the reason why she doesn't do so well is because this Orchiata bark that she came in, my friend potted her up in, I don't think she likes it too well, and I think that's causing her not to do so well in the growth. The next one is my Cattleya intermedia Cerulean Blue Lip by Cattleya walkeriana, Monte Azul. And her new growths are doing so well. I think the only reason she didn't have sheaths on her is because I had to repot her because the old media was really breaking down. But as you can see right here, there's a lot of new growth, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'm happy with it. So hopefully there's one more new growth coming, and I believe it's right there. So maybe that will have a sheath. If not, hopefully next year. I'm not too worried about it. I know it'll flower when it's ready. Then I finally cut the flowers off of this, and as you all know, it's the solar flare. And hopefully it'll shoot off another new growth, and we'll have more flowers in a couple of months. And down to the next level, we have my new Masdevallia Redwing. and the bud is still going so well. And I did figure out that the new growth on this side is another flower spike. If you can see it right in between my fingers there. I'm really happy with it. All the new growth looks so well too. So that's great. And right here is my Phalaenopsis japonica. I'm really happy with these blooms, or if some people say Phalaenopsis japonica, it really doesn't matter to me. Either name is fine. It does always smell good, but I can't really smell it until like I get close to it. And it hasn't been very sunny out lately, so that has caused it not to be so fragrant. Alright, if I move this, this Cattleya right here that I got from SVO, LC Cornelius Love, I had a tragic accident. There was a growth right here, if you remember, and somehow it rotted at the bottom and like killed the whole growth. So I had to cut it off and put cinnamon on it. But there is a new growth coming on this one, and hopefully there'll be something that pops up on this side of this growth, which would be nice. Behind that is the bigger version of the Brassavola nodosa. It's doing okay. Behind this one, if you can see a new growth on the BLC rustic spots, so I hope for that to bloom this summer again, because it bloomed in the winter, if you all remember. So hopefully we'll have even more blooms this time. Right here is the Sarcochilus I got from SVO, and it just keeps on growing. The two growths in between those leaves never really became to be anything, so I don't know what it's doing. I don't know if it'll bloom this year or not. If not, that's okay. Here's my Brassavola glossia, or some people call it Rinco Laelia glossia. It's putting out new roots, if you can see there, and down the pot there, so that's good. Let's see, this little guy is the Dendrobium aggregatum, or Lindinii now. It's not doing too hot, but that's okay. I'll see if I can get another one that was in better shape anyway. I'm waiting to see if it grows any new roots, because it hasn't grown any new roots, and it really needs it, because you can see the shriveling in the pseudobulbs. But like I said, we'll see. Behind that is the Brassavola nodosa, and it hasn't done too much for me, but it has been putting out like several new growths, so that's good. Hopefully it will bloom this year. Right beside that is the Dendrobium spectabile, and it's putting out roots finally, so that's good. And then right here is my Dendrobium microchip, and we have a new growth there, a new growth there behind the label. Let's see if I can make it focus. Right there, and then a little growth right there. And we might have more in there, I don't know, but I think it's doing really well. This new growth, like, has grown to that size in probably about 2 weeks, so that's great. I do love the back of these flowers. They're so pretty with this, like, with the little dots on them. But I don't expect that to be the flowers won't be in bloom too much longer, I don't think. I had 2 of them that fell off today before I was doing this video. But we're gonna stop this video right here before it gets too long, and we're gonna make a part 2.